Yeah, Shalom, Kal Halalim, Laihaw Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakaha Kudash, double honors to the apostles of GMS who rule well, who I learned this truth from, and salutations and blessings unto you elect. I was just looking at this image here and was meditating on, the various lessons I've been doing on the history, and I just wanted to make a point about how you had a lot of scatterings and what the scholars call diasporas or dispersions of the Israelites, and I'm not saying that this chart is 100% spot on, but there's a few points to take from this, and I'm going to speak on one point. And when you look at up here, it says Judah, patriarch Judah, Zerah, and then you have this son, or sometimes it's Zerah, Zerah. Then you have a son, Darda, and then Brutus, and then they show lineages of French kings, Charlemagne, coming from Israelite royalty, the lineage, why I say that this isn't exactly spot on is because, you have down here Saxe-Coburg. The Stuarts is right. The Stuarts, as you see, Scottish and Irish, and that word Stuart meant, or it went back to Swart or swarthy, right? But the Saxe-Coburgs, the Hanoverians, and the kings later on, they were all Edomites. But focus on the son of Pierre Darda. All right. I wanted to show some maps as well first, but that's where the lesson is coming from, that chart. So you see the Jewish diaspora in the 1st century, and it shows major cities of where Israelites dwelt. It's not just showing major cities. This is the Israelite diaspora. So you had Israelites all throughout here. All right. Rome, all throughout this area here, Asia Minor, or what you're going to find out that this area was called the Anatolian Peninsula. All right. This is a good map here. It might not be that good. That way, let me see. Reformation of Israel. You got a lot here going on. You have Israel or Jerusalem here. And through the various diasporas, you see the Assyrian kingdom, the Medians, and then you see, look, the Goths, Scythians, right? They're showing the Scythians, Scythia, right? Saxons, Scandinavia, Vikings, Normans, Celts, Iberia, right? Because this was also called at one point, not just the Iberian Peninsula, it was the Celtic Iberian Peninsula, So you got to think about all the different scatterings that or where the different lands Israelites scattered to. It was a lot of lands. It says actually in the book of Deuteronomy 28 in the curses, we shall be scattered to the 4 corners of the earth, man, right? Jewish diaspora, 500 BC to 500 AD. Look at this. Spain, right? All throughout Europe. Rome, Carthage, look all around Greece and Asia Minor, Thessalonica, Philippi, Corinth, Sparta, right? It's a little blurry, but down there, Athens. So there's a lot of history, man. Brothers always ask, well, what's the lesson? What kind of lessons can we do? Well, get into history. Look at all these scatterings, man. Down here in Africa and Egypt, by the Nile. All right. Syria, Media, and then this was another map, obviously dealing with old world and also new world, but you see here different points, the The black dot is people believing themselves to be descended from the lost 10 tribes. The Igbos of Nigeria, the Maasai tribe, Abyssinia, the Berbers, right? When you look at Berber kings, I believe that's where the word barbarian came from, if I'm not mistaken, right? Those are Israelites, so-called Negroid people. Khazars claim to be, but we know all about them. India, the Korean tribe, look at this, right? A lot of history, man. Yemenis, Afghan, Persian. So these are Israelites all throughout the four corners. Japan, the Shindai tribe. Of course, you have the Americas, right? These are the other 10 tribes, actually, right? The nine and a half, or the 9 tribes, right? People's claimed by different writers to be the 10 lost tribes dispersed by the Assyrian deportations of 740 to 700 BC. So dispersions happened at that time. That was the time of the Assyrian captivity. Down here it says the Anglo-Israelites. What does the word Anglo mean? Angelic. British and Danish Christians believing that the Anglo-Saxons are descended from the lost tribes. Yep. In 1900, they claimed 2 million adherents in Europe and the United States, and that's Esau claiming, you know. They also claimed that Queen Victoria was a direct descendant of David. And Queen Victoria was an Israelite, right? But she married with Edomites, the Saxe-Coburg line from Germany. Anyway, that's some images there. So, key point is from this chart of Darda, right? So let's go. Let me see. This is from the Association of Covenant People, and again, Esau claims, he likes to claim that the people in Britain and France today, which are majority Edomites, that they're Israelites, but they're not, because we know who was ruling during those time periods of the medieval ages, right? October 15, 2022. I'm going to jump down. And this is dealing with who? What of Darda, the other son? He and his people moved into Asia Minor and established a nation there on the shores of the Dardanelles, which there's a place you can look up, named after him. It was here that the ancient city of Troy was brought into being, and indeed it flourished for 2 or 3 centuries, being impregnable until the siege of Troy. And we all know the story of the wooden horse, right? When you watch that movie, Troy, a lot of those were Israelites, if not all, right? If you consider Troy to have been a myth, in 1870, Heinrich Schliemann sounds like a Temanite, began to dig where he had been led to by a dream, and eventually discovered the ruins of the fabled city of Troy and evidence of the war. So that's a key point to remember, man. This guy Darda, who was an Israelite, son of Judah, right? He founded the city Troy. Now, Troy is actually in the scriptures. That's why Paul went there, right? 2 Corinthians 2 and 12. Furthermore, when I came to Troas to preach Mashiach's gospel, Yahushua's gospel, and a door was opened unto me of the Lord. So why did he go there? Let's look up that word, right? Trojan, from Tros, right? A place in Asia Minor. Israel was all throughout Asia Minor, as well as other places. Why did he go there? Because you had Israelites there. And you had this guy, Brutus. He was reputed to have been the son of Aeneas, who was of the royal blood. He escaped from the siege with other Trojans. Now, when you look up Brutus, they claim it's mythology, but they say that he was the one that founded Britain. That's where the name Brute or Brit I believe, comes from, but Britain or British goes back to covenant. Bara, now I forget how it is in the Hebrew. Bara'ath or Bara'ash, I forget now. But basically, British-ish means man, and Brit goes back to covenant, or the covenant people, right? But that's a key point about the Trojans, or Troy. When you look up Darda here, this is from, where is this? jw.genianet.org, right? Parents, Zerah, the son of Judah. The traditional founder of Troy's famed royal house was Dardanus, which was in the Greek mythology, Dardanus. But it actually goes back to Darda, just like Hercules goes back to who? Samson, right? A few generations prior to Troy and Ilus, Dardanus in Greek legend, the son of Zeus, right? This is mythology madness, right? Fables. See, the founder of Dardania. Where do you think that word comes from? Right, Darda. So all these clue points of, right? It says here Dardania on the Hellas Pont, the nearby straits separating Dardania from Hellas or Greece, now called the Dardanelles. He was the ancestor of the Dardans of the Troad. Now, when you look up that, hold on. Well, this is Anatolia, right? When you look up Anatolia, this is the image. Darda, remember he said he married a woman of the Phrygia, right? Which is right there. But this is all Asia Minor. This is a bad image. Hold on. Right? Galatia, Bithynia, Pontus, Cilicia, Lydia. This is where all Israelites were. Cyprus, Crete. Paul went to Crete as well, right? If you type in Crete, I believe, right, you can find it, right? And now you understand. But I want to go to the book of First Peter. Hold on, First Peter. First Peter 1:1, Peter, an apostle of Yahushua Mashiach, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. What is that? What is all that we just read? That's called the Anatolian Peninsula, Thrace, right? Stranger is eklektos, picked out, chosen, elect. That's where you get the word elect. But scattered means what? Scattering, dispersion, diaspora. That's what the word is. Of Israelites dispersed among foreign nations. Now you're seeing the pieces come together. Look at all these places, man. Jake was scattered through there. Now you understand how. Right? It's not hard once you start up. Hold on. Yeah, that was pretty much it, I just wanted to touch on that point, a little bit on Troy. So now you understand who those people were and why Paul went to these different places, man. The Spirit moved them because Israel was scattered through there. They were known as strangers or Gentiles or whatever nation that they lived in, right? That whatever place. Oh, here it is, or Salakia. So Brutus was reputed to have been the son of Aeneas, who was of the royal blood, and he escaped from the siege with other Trojans. They came to the island of Melita or Malta. Did Paul go to Malta? Yes, he did. Now I forget how it's spelled. I don't. Oh, this is right, man. That's a spirit. Right. So he did go to Malta. Right, and that's where them Jakes were, them bugged out Jakes. Right, as this is a Acts 28:1. And when they were escaped, then they knew that the island was called Melita, and that's where the word Malta comes from, right? It says here, honey, the name of an island in the Mediterranean line between Africa and Sicily, now called Malta. And a lot of those Maltese are Jakes. And it says, and the barbarous people showed us no little kindness, for they kindled a fire and received every one of us because of the present rain and because of the cold. And when Paul had gathered a bundle of sticks and laid them on the fire, there came a viper out of the heat and fastened on his hand. And when the barbarians saw the venomous beast hang on his hand, they said among themselves, no doubt this man is a murderer, whom, though he hath escaped the sea, yet vengeance suffereth not to live. And he shook off the beast into the fire and felt no harm, howbeit they looked when they should have swollen or fallen down dead suddenly, but afterwards they had looked a great while and saw no harm come to him. They changed their minds and said that he was a god. These are bugged out. Hey, it says what? Barbarous people. Who are these barbarous people? Most likely, they're all, if they're mostly, if not all, Israelites. All right. Yeah, rude, right? Harsh. So they said he was a god, and yeah, So as you see here, Malta, and there it is said in a ruined temple dedicated to Diana, Brutus was told in a dream to go to the Great White Islands, so he and his men sailed through the Pillars of Hercules, round the Bay of Biscay, and eventually approached the southwestern shores of Britain. Right? But yeah, I hope that was pretty much it. I hope you're edified. I just wanted to bring that information out. And it sheds more light, man. This goes into even me and all you brothers going into the Anatolian Peninsula now. The Israelite scatterings over there. All right, so call halalim la Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakodash, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and shalom to the elect.